after death. Nothing else mattered. People often fled the group, sometimes to other cities entirely, scared off by the intensity of its members and the debates on the effectiveness of jihad. Amir, Omar, and others in the group went to several jihad camps in Afghanistan in 1998. The group began to grow closer, living together in a small flat in Hamburg, removed from the world. After 2 years of neglecting his studies, the Krugman Counseling One finally returned to complete his thesis, even working with a female professor until he told her he could stand it no longer. He completed his work with commendation and returned home to Cairo to see his parents. He told them that he planned on traveling to the United States to obtain his doctoral degree, and his parents were delighted. He remarked privately to his mother that he was tired and he wanted to stay in Cairo to take care of her, but she would have none of it. Her husband wanted Amir to be a success, and thus he must go to the United States. Little did his parents know that he had no intention of pursuing his education. Amir had heard the fatwa, and he was prepared to answer. The men of crooked councils left Hamburg in 1999 with the rest of the group, staggering their individual departures over the span of a few weeks to formally join Al-Qaeda. Upon their arrival, the group was sent to see Osama bin Laden, who told them that he had a special task in mind for them, a plan proposed 3 years ago by Khalid Sheikh Mohamed to attend the United States of America. He asked for their undying loyalty and to accept suicide missions. They consented. After being briefed by Al-Qaeda military commander Mohamed Atif and conversing with bin Laden on several other occasions, Amir of the Crooked Councils was appointed leader of the expedition. The group left individually with orders to seek flight training. Amir left for Florida in 2000 to begin his new studies. Most of the would-be pilots found it relatively easy to enroll at flight schools. In the final year leading up to the attacks, Amir and his colleagues gained as much experience as they could on flight simulators, studied airplane procedures and airport security. They welcomed the younger jihadi recruits sent to the United States to aid them in the hijackings. The youths worked out at gyms to prepare themselves for combat, ate frozen pizzas, prayed and studied airline procedures and security. After one final meeting with Omar over the summer of 2001 in Spain, everything was finally in place. 8:44 a.m. The plane goes into a rapid descent. Just a few more minutes. He recalls the face of a woman he sat near in business class. She looked like his mother. The disillusioned academic felt a tear roll down his face. What would she say if she could see him now? How would she react to her only son, fighting for a cause which she did not believe in, ready to die when all she wanted was the best for him? He had never killed anyone before in his life, not even in the name of Allah. All he wanted was a job, for the government to respect sacred land. Was that too much to ask for? Success. That was all his father ever wanted, but he had failed him. No one understood him. There was a wall between him and the world. Now look what has become of him. Hadn't he always told his students to stay away from radical Islamic groups? Paradise is overshadowed by swords. Now he will be a success, an eternal success. 8:46 and 40 seconds a.m., September 11th, 2001, American Airlines Flight 11 crashes into the North Tower of the World Trade Center. Everyone in the plane dies instantly. Countless more died in the tower. The work of Allah is done. The last thoughts of the 5 harbingers of doom. The silence of lower Manhattan, ripping a hole in the smooth satin of the workday as chaos would now test the limits of how many people could be saved in 102 minutes. 8:45, the plane assaults the North Tower, striking a wounding blow into one bower of the World Tree. Smoke flows out like sap as the lifeblood of our nation arose from the wounds. The gray of its tree's leaves turned to red, heralding the impending feeling of dread that overcomes the citizens inside, and the tree into 2 sections to divide. Those above the point of impact were now trapped, their freedom to move gone, handicapped, they gathered in groups, hearkening to an unsaid decree like baby birds in their nests in the canopy of the tree. Those on the lower floor waited for assistance. The call to evacuate, that grim insistence, was heard only by some, with the intercom broken on some floors. The words that were spoken could not be heard, as the baby birds craving to fly were instead left alone, hoping not to die. Secret crowds shrouded by the smoky air, imprisoned, their own office turned into a snare. Some called 911 on their cell phones, appealing to those in safety, those couched in their thrones, but they did not know what to say. Everything was unclear. Leave, stay, go to the roof, do not give in to fear. What had just happened? What should they do? They waited for the ferryman to shake hands with with death in this queue. But you, Bruno, scion of the Dellingers who sat on the 47th floor, heard the sound that would haunt you forevermore, the deafening howl of plane engines at full force, heedlessly fueling a plane's deadly course, like a massive wave, destined to strike the beach, having built his strength far out to sea, beyond reaching gains momentum, and rises to his maximum height, smashes the sand and rocks with a vicious bite, sucking back the debris in his bottomless maw, swiping a chunk of bark off the tree with death's mighty claw. But then the warriors came, one and all, to face the grim peril that would not let us fall. The 4 battalions came to greet the calamity, keeping us from the dark precipice of inhumanity. FDNY of the shining helms, within 5 seconds they came. With yards of hose and courage, they were quelled as flame. NYPD, bastions of the city, quickly joined the fold. About their bravery, many a tale shall be told. Swift-footed PAPD was on site from the very start, the focal point of the rescue, it's still beating hard. Brilliant OEM mobilized into the fray as well, supervising and charting the topography of this new hell. The leaders congregated by tower number 1, each desperate to determine what should be done. Information was scarce and precious, like pure gold, buried in the rubble, waiting and hidden to be told. FDNY discovered the sad truth. They made the initial call. This was a rescue mission. The fire had turned them into its thrall. Still you fled, scion of the Dellingers, down the stairs, leaving behind your life's passion, your work. Only your prayers accompanied you as you climbed quickly down, seeking security while you saw the warriors climbing slowly up, with grim surety that they would give their lives to save another, a mother, sister, father, brother. It did not matter, for all received aid, the greatest of all good deeds which could not be repaid. As you followed their progress up with your eyes, you saw visions which you never thought life could devise. The sight of those coming down from the impact, bodies were burned, hairless, with skin cracked, but they soldiered on, oblivious to pain as others helped them, preventing them from becoming one of the slain. The largest rescue force in the city's history had been assembled. Over 1,000 warriors arrived as the ground trembled. Decisions were being made and a plan became clear. Then the crash came again, and liberty shed her second tear. For the South Tower had been hit by a banking plane. Any hope it seemed had all been in vain, for those in the tower now began to doubt if they would see the light again. Would they make it out? But wait, what's this? A passable stair, a passage out from this deathbed lair? Now which way to go? They could not decide. Some just stopped, sat down, and cried, for they tried to go up, but the doors were blocked, and they tried to go down, but flames left many burned and shocked. Smoke filled the stairway and clouded their sight. Confusion struck out of them. They didn't know which way was right. Some jumped from whatever floor they were on, like leaves from a tree, and fallen they fell, their death seemingly foregone. But many helped their colleagues, guiding them to safety. They didn't get out right away. They were not hasty. As Washington led his troops across the icy Delaware, so too did these citizens not leave their fellows to despair. They were not alone in their kindness on this day, for the first responders came to without delay. Although the situation to many seemed desperate, they insisted their fate, the civilians' own, would not be separate. The zone of impact was like a demolition site which the long arm of chaos had deigned to smite. Civilians called 911 again and again to report the fallen, but still they were forced to repeat what had befallen them as they ran to the lobby for refuge. In search of aid, the saviors greeted the survivors and bade those arrive to exit the tower if they were able, for the sheer number of people made the situation unstable. Fortunately, most had escaped alive, fleeing this dreadful tomb, as one last contingent of NYPD rushed into the gloom. Alas, these warriors were never seen again, for as their backs faded into the shadow of the den, the great tree shuddered as a tumultuous and final blow resounded from its depths, laying this bower low. Those outside looked toward the south tower to see what had become of the auxiliary bower, only to see a new and terrible sight that added fresh horror to this sickening blight. A massive sound rang out like a bell toll of doom. Yet greater still was this incalculable wound, as bystanders stood by rooted, staring at the tree in fear of its magnitude, as did those who watched the bower dear to their hearts, as their own flesh started to collapse as an eternity in their minds seemed to elapse. The explosion shot debris out from all four sides, was mingled in the air with jumpers seeking suicides. It seemed like a time demolition as if it had been planned, but it was not so. For now we understand that the pressure from inside the tower could not be contained, and the infrastructure itself had been strained to its breaking point, and thus the windows burst forth on every floor, and the building collapsed on itself. Thenceforth, popping red flashes exploded around the tower like the shots from the gun that echoed around the world in Massachusetts, where our revolution had begun. Now as the wind rushed slowly out from the ground floor, sweeping everyone in its path off their feet, running up the score in favor of death, and rage walked around the crowd like a giant of ancient lore, rained debris as it plowed and sowed a feel of woe upon those who remained, forging onward, delighting in pain, unrestrained. Chaos laughed aloud, blowing hurricane force winds down faster than Paul Revere rode around to Concord on that fateful day so long in the past, when we threw off the yoke of oppression, aghast at their refusal to acknowledge our rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and delights. Yet now we had to throw off a burden once more, as rubble trapped our warriors lying alone by the door of death, wishing to close it shut, but the debris wore away their strength, clogging their mouths and ears as they could not hear the cries of their leaders, seeking to help them and stave off destiny, encroaching upon them, sensing the chance to begin poaching their lives from them at fate's cruel behest. So began this trial of survival, the ultimate test. As you left the building, scion of the Dellingers, to stand on Church Street, you found your escape to life was bittersweet, but you looked up to see this beautiful fall day marked by flames and dark smoke. The disaster on full display. When the sound tower collapsed, you heard nothing. The smoke was so thick and its presence so crushing that sound could not travel through its dark embrace as it wrapped itself around you. The ability to breathe once commonplace was now a chore, as you knew that you were probably dead, where you could not hear nor see anything ahead. The warriors scurried back and forth in the street below like ants carrying food. They ferried injured civilians to and fro, saving compatriots and trying to understand the situation. As the smoke had confounded the entire operation, the battalions struggled to talk, to communicate with each other, let alone potentially congregate their own warriors, who were each striving to do what they felt was best to lay this crisis to its deserved and final rest. Meanwhile, the citizens of the North Tower saw its counterpart fall. They saw their destiny inching toward them in a crawl. 911 was flooded with incoming and frenzied voices, each desperate and wanting to know their choices. First responders surged up the stairs, searching for any more survivors of the well-worn thoroughfares. The last 29 minutes of this tragedy were filled with urgency, finding as many injured civilians as they could in this emergency, until at last, the North Tower fell in a shower of debris, the last portion of the once almighty tree. 3 separate explosions emanated from the building, eliminating the ongoing attempt at rebuilding the hopes of those still trapped inside. After witnessing the other towers collapse, they had run to hide. Many had escaped, but still some remained, unwillingly held back, forcibly detained by the fiery rage of those who hate. Manifested in the blaze they could not save, the fires of September, which raged on around them, fueled by the holy crown of martyrdom, its pure diadem. Those outside realized that the fuel fell into the pit. The persistent popping sounds continued to emit, each one signaling that time had run out. The fate of the tree was no longer intact. Citizens ran for their lives. Debris rained on those running below indiscriminately like a gray hailstorm, or a tornado gunning to destroy everything in its path. A dark titan, released from Congress' gaping maw, returned to sate its appetite through a grim feast upon the lives of civilians, young and old. Some of their tales shall now be told. Andrew Anthony Abate worked on the 105th floor of the North Tower, remembered evermore by those college and high school friends, recall his funny jokes. His memory also evokes all the time he spent with Vincent, his brother. They hated to be separate from one another. Andrew drove down to the Jersey Shore to spend weekends with Vinny, who could ask for more. They worked together at Cantor Fitzgerald, not knowing that their time together would herald a twin death, Castor and Pollux, falling together on one fall day, now with each other forever. Vivian Castledug worked for Empire Blue Cross Blue Shield. She waged war on life's battlefield. Do everything the hard way, she always said. As a single mother, she kept 3 children clothed and fed and became a grandmother too. And just to keep things fun, she was known to wear wigs to work, which kept everyone laughing. But so much was taken from Vivian on this day. Her children's weddings, once so far away, will happen without her, the bastion of their strength. Her life has ended too short, not the proper length. Marilyn Del Carmen Garcia, just 21 years of age, she shined brightly on life's great stage. The valedictorian of her high school class, many honors she did amass, including a scholarship to Syracuse, which she turned down to be closer to her family, to live near her hometown. At John Jay College, she continued to excel. At Marcia McLennan in North Tower she worked, and you could tell that she was destined for great things. As she arrived at work 1 hour early to go to school in the afternoon, where she thrived and hoped to work for the United Nations. She was strong, fearless, determined, and loved by all her relations. All these deaths were wrought by those with ambitions grand, hard at work. For years they had planned to bring suffering to us. To spoil our affairs, they assaulted our fair liberty. They took her unawares. But, like Francis Scott Key before, as he stood on deck and watched that war, so did we see this sight and endure this wrong. For from its ashes, like a phoenix, shall be born a new song of unity, love, and tolerance, which will shape our nation, a hopeful and bright new aspiration to be the best that we can be, and renew the glory days of old, as we will stride forth to lock arms with destiny, humbled, renewed,